I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about preventing missed chances with your ex after a breakup. So, breakups can leave us feeling extremely confused, and they're really challenging to navigate because we feel so intensely emotional, we're scared, we're afraid about the outcome. We don't know how to balance connecting things with our ex or repairing things with our ex, if we're supposed to ignore certain things or how to respond to certain things. And so it can be really confusing. Now, if you are in a situation where you feel like you had an opportunity to turn it around and maybe you did things that you regret, or you look at it and you're wishing that you could do things differently, it can keep you stuck. Okay? I have seen this a lot. If you miss your chance with your ex, you're going to get stuck with a lot of pain and regret and constantly, going over the situation and ruminating about it. The best thing you can do is over prepare. Okay, the more work that you do in no contact, the less likely you are going to make a mistake and have to live with that regret. I cannot tell you how often I get somebody that gets their ex back, does not continue the personal growth, goes back to their old behaviors, they slowly regress, and they wind up with another breakup, and we're doing coachings again. It happens all the time. If you make personal growth your number one priority and you decide, I'm going to use this breakup to change my life, you are going to find that there are going to be a lot more different opportunities for you, and you're going to be having a lot more opportunities to repair things with your ex because you're going to be less likely to slip up, and so you'll have more opportunities to try and build attraction again, right? If you make a big mistake, then you're going to be a lot less likely to hear from them again in most cases. Or you'll find somebody else that you're crazy about, or other people that you're wanting to date, and you're going to be a lot less likely to do those little things that wind up turning them off. Because when somebody doesn't know you, just a couple of small mistakes can make them think, oh, no, not the person for me. So, missed chances. And, it's tough when you look at a situation afterwards and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I panicked in that moment. And we try and warn you about those triggers, especially the ones that we see fairly often. There are certain things that we see happen more often than other situations, right? Certain people are going to make certain mistakes more often. And we're always trying to point out those big ones to you. But like I say, every situation is different and every breakup is different. But the emotional state that we go through when our ex reaches out, or they start to contact us again, or they say little things, or they do little things, it can really put us in a bad place. And then we feel horrible because it didn't go the way we were hoping. There are windows of opportunity with many things of life, right? Like if you want a job, a certain career, a certain job at a certain company, there's only going to be a limited window in where you're going to get hired for that position before they fulfill it with somebody else. If you want to play the $20 million lottery or $200 million lottery, whatever, you have a limited window to purchase a ticket in that time frame. That is one of the challenges that we face in life, is consequences. So please focus on yourself in no contact. Don't just watch no contact videos. Get my creative healing course, get my knowledge workbooks and focus on that. And you're going to be a lot more likely to feeling really good and working through your attachment issues. So today I've got an email that someone wanted to share their situation and they're a little confused. So let's go through this one and you tell me what you guys think. Leave some comments. They said, "Hi, Coach. I'm writing to share my experience of seeing my ex in person for the first time since our breakup. It's been almost a year, so why not? In most relationships, platonic, familial, or romantic, I have been the avoidant one. But with my ex, the roles reversed. She was avoidant and I was anxious." So let's think about this for a second. In most of his relationships, he was the avoidant one. But with his ex, he was the anxious one. Does that mean he's not avoidant? Think about it. Does it mean he's no longer avoidant just because he's with somebody that's more avoidant than him? Something to think about. We lived together in a house with a few other roommates for 5 years. Our connection grew naturally over time. We'd watch movies, play games, sing, eat, and sleep in the same bed. Without realizing it, we'd become incredibly close. Things changed when she expressed interest in another guy. Okay, so after 5 years of being together, she expressed interest in another guy? Let's go on. I played it cool at first, but my anxiety spiraled. This is what happens when we don't work on our attachment issues. These are the things that make a difference between getting an ex back and not getting your ex back. Emotional self-control. The way you do that is to process, to educate yourself, to do all of the challenging stuff that we teach you in the videos that you're not watching because all you want to watch is no contact videos. A week later, I confessed my feelings. She thanked me for being honest, but said she wished I hadn't told her. From there, she created space. We still hung out a bit, but it always felt off. She had 2 short-lived rebound relationships. Neither lasted long due to her emotional unavailability. I stayed in the house during both, but eventually moved out before my birthday in 2023. I needed peace and space to grieve. I moved to a new state, and soon after I found this channel and began no contact. I broke it once in January of 2024 after noticing she'd been liking content about missing someone. So, was he following our instructions? Nope. No, he wasn't. Right? Why? Because we tell you guys, don't fall for that. Your ex has to reach out to you. She didn't even post it on her own story. She was just liking it. He's watching what she likes. He's stalking what she likes about missing someone, so he reaches out. So what do you think happened? She didn't respond right away, but a few weeks later, she reached out and we had a brief, friendly exchange about music. Okay, but is that what you want? No, of course not. You're trying to, spark up the reattraction here and get her to meet you in person. Now, I know you moved. I'm not sure how far this was from each other, but that obviously would make a difference. She texted again about a month later, and then the following month, both times sending photos of her window view taken on previous days. Okay, so what are you doing? Are you trying to spark things up here? You got to spark it up when your ex reaches out. These are missed opportunities if you don't do this, guys. Okay? We don't need your ex to tell you all kinds of stuff to try and spark things up. We're just looking for a reach out. Now, we're not wanting you to be eager here, but you want to try and see if you can keep the connection flowing or growing in a way that feels natural without coming on too strong. It felt like her way of reaching out indirectly. Well, yeah, of course, she's directly reaching out. Obviously, she's being a bit indirect because she's not saying I miss you, but she is directly contacting you at this point. I just thumbs upped the pictures. Missed opportunity. You should have tried a little bit more. When your ex reaches out, you got to make an effort to reconnect. Now, this guy didn't do an email coaching. He had just sent in an email. I guess maybe he thought we would share on the other channel. But I wanted to go over this because I thought it would be good for you guys to see what these missed opportunities look like. Eventually, I went completely radio silent, turned off my phone for 6 months, and only used email. I felt grounded for the first time in a while. I ended the silence in late summer to plan a trip back for a wedding in early October. Since then, my phone had been off. Any texts older than 30 days didn't come through. I had no idea if she tried to contact me during that time. My birthday came, this is towards the end of September, and went without a message, but I felt okay. A few days later, she texted, "Hi, I know it's been a while, but I just wanted to say hi. We watched Friday the 13th, part 4 tonight, and it's one of your favorites, I think. Smiley face." Now, by the way, there was a hi smiley face and a smiley face on the end, and one exclamation point. So she was really looking to connect here. So what'd you do? What do you do in this situation? I replied the next morning, "Definitely one of the best. Hoped you enjoyed, buddy." Now, he says that buddy was always a term of endearment. I might stay away from buddy from now on and as a term of endearment. But what does this look like to you? Do you guys think this is a missed opportunity? Didn't ask any follow-up questions. Didn't say it's nice to hear from you. How are you doing? She responded saying she made her mom watch it too. I didn't reply. I wasn't sure what to say. Okay, another missed opportunity. She's trying to make another bit to connect, tell you a little something. I made my mom watch it too. How's your mom doing? How has she been? Ask a follow-up question, but you didn't reply. These are the kinds of missed opportunities where you're allowing the window of opportunity to close on you. When I got to town, I stayed with a friend and was invited to dinner by some of our old roommates. One asked if my ex could join. I said sure. Dinner was set at the old house, and I brought my friend for support. Oh, come on. What are you doing? You're bringing a friend for support when your ex is going to be at a dinner? When we arrived, everyone was downstairs except her. After a few minutes, she came down and gave me a soft, brief hug. In the moment, I thought maybe she didn't want to see me, but later I realized she was probably nervous too. During dinner, I noticed I was changing. I used to habitually clean up for everyone, but this time I only took my own dish. A small moment, but it felt like progress. Yeah, okay, so you felt good that you were not relapsing completely back into old ways here. But how much you've done on yourself during all this time of being apart, I don't know. You have missed a bunch of opportunities, in my opinion. Later, I went upstairs to show my friend my old movie shelves. On the way, she stopped me and asked me if I wanted to see her room. I agreed. My friend stayed back to give us a little space. She had switched rooms since I moved out, but what struck me was how many things I'd given her were still there. Posters, the comforter we once shared, and even a sticky note I'd written post-breakup that said, "Hope you have a great day, buddy. Love you." She transferred all of it into her new space. Another opportunity. You should have picked up that sticky note and said, "You kept this? What made you keep this?" Or some other open-ended question. "Oh, you still have the posters," or "You still have the same comforter." Something. You've got to comment. You've got to connect here. She excitedly told me about her classes and even showed me her new calculator. At one point, we stood about 5 feet apart, making strong eye contact, something that was always a big part of our connection, while she brushed her hair. When she tossed the brush onto the bed, it bounced to the floor, but neither of us acknowledged it. The silence was heavy and meaningful. Unfortunately, there's a lot of silence here, where there are bids that could be made by you to connect. You're staying silent. You're not responding. You're not texting back. Okay? Maybe she even set this up. Maybe it was her friends or roommates that said, "Invite him over. See if he'll come over for dinner." It wouldn't surprise me at all. But you're not doing anything. What are you doing here? You got to do something here. We returned downstairs for dessert. She left early, and I followed soon after. Where did she leave? Why would she leave? I'm a little confused. Everybody's at her place. She's still living there as one of the roommates. Where did she go? Did she leave the house? Did she go to her room? I didn't reach out again or say goodbye before heading back out of state. That was our last interaction. Later, I received a Christmas card signed by all the roommates. Remember, this was last September and October or whatever it was. A Christmas card signed by all the roommates. She was the first to sign and wrote, "Merry Christmas, buddy," with a heart. It came late. I wasn't sure to respond, so I chose not to. How many missed opportunities is this? Guys, some of you might only get one. And I know there are coaches that are going to tell you, don't reply to your ex unless you get something meaningful. You could do it, but they may not reach out again. Are you going to regret it if they don't? I don't want you guys to be breadcrumbed repeatedly, but if you only get, you may only get one indirect direct from your ex. Totally up to you on how you handle it, but I wouldn't ignore somebody. As of today, I haven't heard from her since. Okay, well, this was about 10 months ago that you saw her, right? Or no, even more. It's been about a year since you saw her, and she sent you a Christmas card like about 10 months ago. But look at all the opportunities you had to reconnect with her. I mean, you don't want somebody to think that you completely don't care when they're making bids to connect with you, because how many times might she have felt rejected here? Remember, she had texted him in February and March of 2024, and he just thumbs up those reach outs. Then he went in no contact, or he turned off his phone completely for 6 months until like late summer. And then in September of last year, she reached out about the movies, and he had said, "Definitely one of the best. Hope you enjoyed, buddy." And then she responded about the mom watching with her too, and he didn't reply again. Then the next opportunity was, I guess, around Christmas time or a little before Christmas, when they went to dinner together. Maybe that was in October. And he had all that opportunity with her in the room and could have asked her about the sticky note or what was going on there. But instead he just left and didn't even say goodbye. Then again, she sent a Christmas card with Merry Christmas, buddy, with a heart. So term of endearment with a heart, and he didn't respond. So that's a bunch of opportunities. That's at least 5 opportunities where he could have made more bids to reconnect with her and try and repair this. Asked an open-ended question. I mean, he ignored like at least 3 times here. And then when he's in person, and it could have been her idea, or maybe even she was part of the recommendation, or hey, we should invite him for dinner. And I don't know, you let it fall flat. So, it's tough, but not everybody is even going to get this many opportunities from your ex. Now it's been 10 months since that Christmas card, and you haven't heard from her, but it feels like you're very stuck. It feels like you're not really doing the work. It feels like you're still kind of obsessing daily, and I think it's because of all these missed opportunities. You got to process it. You got to deal with it. You need to be watching the videos in my Be a Master in Relationships playlist or my Understanding Attachment Styles playlist. Really, the Creative Healing course would be really helpful for you to process and deal with this breakup, because there's a lot of art therapy activities in the beginning of the course especially that will help you process this breakup and think about things so you can turn this pain into self-improvement and really creating some goals for yourself on how to, improve. I'm glad that you have been doing some personal growth, but it seems like in those moments where you needed to repair that connection, you really fell flat by not responding, ignoring her. I mean, there was at least 3 times where he flat out ignored, maybe 4, that he flat out ignored her. And that's not going to get you anywhere. It's about connection. And we both have to make a connection work, or a bid to connect work. But you can imagine how she felt when she was making these bids or reaching out or text messaging or Christmas cards, and he's just literally not saying or doing anything. So sounds like he's probably still struggling with that avoidant attachment style and not really understanding how to have a healthy connection and repair things or make bids to connect or reciprocate with somebody when you need to. But you had several opportunities here, and unfortunately now you're dealing with these consequences and 10 months of not hearing from her. But, if I sent somebody a Christmas card and they didn't reply, I'm not going to keep reaching out. If I had messaged somebody several times and they were just leaving me on read or not replying to me, I'm going to think they don't want to talk to me. So, lessons learned. Listen, pay attention to these things. Those replies that you guys do make a difference, okay? Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. And of course, if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. You can get my Creative Healing course and my workbooks only on my website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.